Hey guys, I'm Dan from The New Travel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use something like this to change footage like this into footage like this. So let's get started. And first off, I should point out that this gimbal is the Feiyutech AK2000s. It was sent to me by Feiyutech. They actually sent me a gimbal a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, to make another video. It was the Feiyutech AK2000, and I thought I did a pretty bad job on that video, but they sent me another one, so I must have been doing okay. No, but seriously, that one was like a sort of a crash course for beginners. I unboxed the gimbal, what the different settings are like, straight from the beginning. Today's video is going to be still very beginner based, but it's going to be showing you how I'm actually filming the footage. You're going to come along with me on a shoot, and I'm going to show you the process as I'm planning each of my shots, and hopefully give you some ideas of what to do or what not to do if you hate the video I turn out to make. Because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you this short clip, a 20-25 second edit of the footage that I make. And of course, at the beginning of this video, I showed you some footage of my lovely girlfriend Nari, showing off what the gimbal can do. But if you have a beautiful model or you have some epic scenery, it's pretty easy to make gimbal footage look nice. Like when someone's doing a slow motion shot of like a waterfall, it's like, well, yeah, it's a waterfall. Of course it's going to be epic. For today's video, I thought I'd do the opposite. I thought I'd take something pretty like boring to look at and try and make it look cool. So near where I live, there's this little free library where you can take a book or leave a book. And I mean, it's a cool concept, but the structure itself is pretty uninspiring. So my idea is to go there and to take my gimbal and to try and turn this pretty boring looking object into a cool short little edit. All right, YouTube, so I'm outside and there's this object behind me that I'd like to film with my gimbal. Now, on the other side of the object I'm gonna film, there just happens to be this little kids slide that I have commandeered for my video. Rule number one of filmmaking, use whatever objects happen to be around you. We're gonna get started and I'm gonna show you some moves. Before I show you the moves though, I'd just like to point out one interesting fact about the Feiyutech AK2000s. And one really cool thing about it is it comes with this additional carrying handle, which based on my brief test is very useful for getting the shots you need, but also for actually just carrying it when you're not getting the shots. Because the weight of the camera just pushes everything down. So it's really convenient to have a grip here. And if you really want, you can grip it with two hands. Okay, so the first move I'm gonna do is just a straight shot at the little library thing. I've got it centered in my frame. I'm gonna move just past the children's playground to try and get some nice foreground action while staying locked and centered on the library itself. Let's see how I do. I think that works pretty well. Now I'm just going to slowly back up, close the door. Yeah, I think that shot worked nice. Whenever you do have a shot that you like, feel free to just keep filming and do whatever feels natural. So if you're enjoying the shot you have, like if you're planning a straight shot, even if you don't have a use for it at the moment, you know, in post, whether you're editing it or someone else is editing it, those little movements can definitely be beneficial. Okay, so this time I'm actually gonna go directly over the slide, the kind of shot you can only really get with a gimbal. Let's see how this works. Get some B-roll of the books from outside, that's kind of nice. By the way, this is all shot on 1080p, no 4K, and this is my kit lens. on a Canon 90D camera, not a super high-end camera, definitely mid-range. So if the shots look cool to you, it's the gimbal. You know, it's not like $5,000 camera footage. Oh, that's kind of nice with the wind blowing those twigs next to it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Let me just hold the camera and get some nice B-roll. Maybe gradually slide back. Maybe I can even slide into the shot. Watch this. Let me try one more a little bit faster. See, I've almost got the twig in my camera lens. I think that'll be a nice effect. Here we go. Let's do one more kind of reveal shot through this plant here. Meow. Hey, buddy. Oh, isn't that a nice shot? You ever seen a gimbal before? No? Yeah, I got a bit scared the first time I saw one too. This was so funny. I was in the middle of making my video and then this cat just shows up out of nowhere. But yeah, you gotta love cats. Now the back side of the library is kind of all twigs and thorns and stuff, so I can't get much from the back side. Now this next bit here, this is a classic example of how it's always better to shoot more than to shoot less. Because when I first saw the back of the library, I was kind of disappointed by all these thorns and all this stuff that was preventing me from getting cool close-ups. But I just decided anyway to film through it and like whatever, I wasn't expecting much. Maybe I'll just lean my gimbal in and slide up. Actually, that was kind of cool. But that shot, like rising through the thorns, I actually think that's one of the coolest shots of the whole project. It just gives it kind of a mysterious vibe. And I took that feeling of like, oh, what's this mysterious wooden object? And I kind of use that for my final edit. So pretty soon you'll see what I mean. I'll just slowly move my way across the edges a little bit. Make sure I get some nice close-up coverage. Always nice to get a handle detail. Yeah, maybe I can open it one more time. And that's about it, guys. I mean, unless I start reading the books, I think I've pretty much exhausted the coverage. And that's about it. I mean, I also practice like running around with the gimbal and doing some different moves that are like higher energy and stuff like that. But to be honest, where's my, here's my coaster. So I'm just gonna show you because you can't really see my feet in the video, but like pretend these are my feet, okay? Yeah. So like when you're working with the gimbal, you wanna just actually like take one long, slow step. Or even like you can start in like a position like that and then go like almost 2 steps, right? Like 1, 2, but it's all just one pivot on the same foot. And that allows you to have like a really smooth movement, like the hand on a clock, right? Like, whereas as soon as you take that next pivot and the center of gravity is changing, isn't this like super professional with my fingers? Yeah, so as soon as you change your center of gravity, that's when you kind of see like the wobble in the footage. And the better you are at kind of like stepping softly, you know, you can step on your heels instead of your toes. The better you get at that, the easier it is to hide the wobble. But until you're a pro, it's always going to be there. You just have to like remember that less is more. Like sometimes all you need a gimbal for is like that little bit of, that little smooth push-in shot, or that little smooth pull-out shot, or like, you know, slide across, right? It can add so much professionalism to your shoot, and especially if you're working with a client, they might not know a lot about filmmaking, but like if you just have a static shot on a tripod, anyone can do that. Like it looks pretty easy, even if it's not. It looks pretty easy to just have a clean, like non-moving shot. But as soon as you have that bit of movement, once you have shots like that, they might not know it was filmed with a gimbal, but they're gonna know that it has that slightly more cinematic look to it. And speaking of getting the shot, we've now arrived at the part of the program where you get to see if I got the shot, and you can make fun of the short edit that I made. So that's it, that was my edit. As you can see, I put the cat in there because, you know, who doesn't like cats? But also because something about this cat just appearing out of nowhere, it just gave me the idea of like, okay, you have this spooky, almost mysterious object, and then this cat appears and everything's like, you know, the music kind of sets the tone too. And then it's like, okay, you're building up to opening it, and then it opens, then you see the books, then you grab the book, then you flip the book, done. Oh yeah, one more fun fact. This was totally unintentional, but this is one of those things that makes you wonder if all of life is just a simulation, because I was trying to make a mysterious video and then you might notice I was flipping the book. It totally landed on chapter 13 and I did not plan that. I had no way of planning that. It just flipped to 13. So creepy, right? I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's always important to think in terms of story. I'm not a master at using gimbals. Like I'm sure, you know, sure the Peter McKinnons of the world could definitely point out a lot of mistakes I made, but that's just an example of what, after a few hours playing around with the gimbal, the kind of footage you can get and the kind of edit you can make if you're thinking about a story. Frankly, if you're just making your own home films, I would not recommend a gimbal, not the Feiyutech or not any gimbal, because I think when you're first getting started, you should really learn about just the fundamentals of like getting nice footage and having fun with the camera. And it takes me about 5 minutes to like set this up. If you're walking through a new city and your gimbal and your camera is in your backpack and you see like some beautiful building, you're like, oh, that'd be a cool shot. You're not gonna spend the 5 minutes taking it out. At least you're not gonna do that every time. You're gonna miss the shots. Whereas if you just have it in your hand, you'll get the shot. You'll get that shot quickly. And so for little like passion projects or whatever, I'd say you just need your camera. But if you're trying to make a career or you're trying to add some professionalism to your projects, I think a gimbal is a great way to do it. Something like that only costs a few $100. I'll put a link down below if you want to check it out. No complaints about this gimbal. There's just the fact that it takes time to set up. And it takes time to get comfortable with. But hopefully this video shows you can get some pretty cool shots, even if you don't know what you're doing, like me. I'm Dan from The New Travel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Peace. Seriously, what was that? Why am I a YouTuber? Okay, bye.